Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the NXT review for the uh, month of April and let's see here, let me find the actual date. April the 11th, 2012. There we go. Um, and we should be through within the next day or two the ridiculously long 30 or 67 episode season 5 of NXT. Then we get to the weirdly uh, ordained 28 episode season, followed by a return to really basic stuff. Percy Watson and Johnny Curtis open the show. William Regal is unimpressed with the actions of Maxine. Maxine, though, sits down at the table, and there is still wonder about the whereabouts of Matt Stryker. Curtis, though, kind of on again, off again with Maxine, still kind of lacking a complete storyline direction, to say the very least, and tackle offs and basic stuff there by Percy Watson. Watson, who kind of going back and forth, majority babyface, although kind of teasing some friendships here and there with a heel Titus O'Neil every once in a while, every 5 to 10 weeks or so. Anyway, of course, their friendship goes back to the babyface days, and Percy Watson manages to do everything he can do to keep Johnny Curtis down. Curtis, of course, responsible for the chloroforming of Matt Stryker and near fall there by Johnny Curtis. Curtis comes up and winds up on the receiving end of a couple of issues and top wrist lock stays on him. Flirtation by Maxine at ringside to try and get off of NXT. That's the main idea of her story at the moment. Doesn't get where she wants to get, but Percy Watson manages to continue the brawling and tosses Johnny Curtis into, well, I won't say oblivion, but certainly tosses him away from any sort of contact there. We see a secondary run, and Johnny Curtis eventually gets the cheating victory here. Confrontation between uh, Kurt Hawkins, Tyler Rex, and Maxine. They basically admit to causing issues for Stryker, although they don't come out and say it directly. Then we go into a Raw review of stuff that obviously matters for Raw, should not matter here. There is more preparation for, like as mentioned, the Kurt Hawkins and Tyler Rex deal. More flirtation with the idea of issues between um, the friendship, which has been tenuous all along anyway, to be completely honest, between Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. There is a bit of getting found and beat up, or a found Matt Stryker. Stryker is finally found. He had been laid out by, and he's found by Derek Bateman, oddly enough, laid out by Hawkins and Rex, and the knowledge is there of where that's going. More in the Raw review, including Brock Lesnar. Um, William Regal says that he needs to know from Rex and Hawkins where Stryker is, and they basically deny any real knowledge. Of course, this is a lie, and they basically say they're skeeved out by William Regal's aggression in search. Highlight packages of the existing previous matches and angle between Tyson Kidd and Michael McGillicuddy, and they go back to that being a main focus of a match. Arm locks, arm bars, and arm ringers here. Tyson Kidd, obviously the more, um, I guess, technically savvy of the two, but also more aggressive of the two. Drop kick to the outside, and Kidd tries to use his speed as an advantage. Speed versus power is the story of the match. we see McGillicuddy try to use the steel steps and other things, and then comes back into the ring trying to grind the face of Tyson Kidd into the canvas as much as he can, trying to be as aggressive, assertive, and downright bullying as he can as well. There is frustration on the part of Michael McGillicuddy as he is unable primarily to eliminate and or eradicate one Tyson Kidd. Kidd comes back with a bit of brawling and also some striking as far as kicks are concerned. Kidd gets laid out a couple of times more by McGillicuddy, who is kind of stumbling around. A drop kick under the chin after a attempted springboard splash or elbow by Kidd gets a nice near fall. This is actually one of the better matches here. The insult to injury as the sharpshooter is used by McGillicuddy to try and get an advantage here, and ultimately we see Tyson Kidd get in a negative space. Tyson Kidd, though, does get the victory, pulls it out at the last minute, and that will close this particular edition of NXT. We'll be back with more right after this.